Movie Freelance. Mason Drake, a former Special Forces operator turned reluctant civilian, struggled to adjust to the quiet life after years of covert missions. Instead of tactical briefings, his days were filled with mundane freelance security gigs, mostly escorting wealthy clients, guarding warehouses, and occasionally training rookies. But deep inside, he craved purpose again, something that mattered. His peaceful routine shattered when a mysterious client offered him an off-the-books contract. Escort an outspoken journalist, Lara Quinn, into the remote South American nation of Valdoria for an exclusive interview with its controversial president. 2. Lara, known for her sharp reporting and unfiltered truth-telling, needed protection after receiving threats from unknown groups. Though Mason disliked media chaos, the unusually high payout and the cryptic mention of national importance convinced him. They boarded a small charter plane to Valdoria, unaware. Multiple factions were already tracking their arrival, including rebels hiding deep within the rainforest, the president's ruthless security force, and a shadowy foreign agency with its own agenda. Upon landing, the capital city greeted them with a false sense of calm. Streets bustled with markets, music, and bright murals, but soldiers patrolled every corner. Mason instantly sensed tension hiding beneath the smiles. During their first meeting, President Alvarado appeared charming and charismatic, yet something in his eyes warned Mason that the man was hiding something dangerous. Lara began her interview, digging into corruption rumors and humanitarian concerns, topics the president deflected with rehearsed ease. 4. That night, explosions rocked the city. Rebel fighters launched a surprise offensive, storming government buildings and hunting for President Alvarado and anyone associated with him, including the visiting journalist. Mason quickly grabbed Lara, guiding her. Through alleys, as flames lit the skyline, gunfire echoed as both government forces and rebels clashed violently. The pair escaped the city limits just in time, taking refuge in the dense jungle. 5. With no communication equipment working and enemies on all sides, Mason shifted into survival mode. Using his field skills, he built shelters, scouted safe paths, and stayed alert through sleepless nights. Lara, though frightened, proved resourceful, mapping routes using her memory of past reports and gathering intel from abandoned rebel camps. What began as a simple escort job turned into a dangerous mission of evasion and discovery. 6. As they trekked deeper into the rainforest, they stumbled upon a hidden rebel base. Instead of killing them, the rebel commander revealed shocking intel. President Alvarado planned to stage an international crisis to keep his grip on power. The attack on the city had been manipulated by his inner circle, using rebel impersonators to justify a nationwide crackdown. Lara recorded the testimonies, realizing they now possessed evidence that could expose everything, if they survived long enough to share it. However, the president's elite soldiers soon descended upon the jungle, tracking Mason and Lara through heat-sensing drones and satellite scans. A fierce chase ensued across rivers, cliffs, and thick undergrowth. Mason fought with precision, disabling squads with traps and guerrilla tactics from his past. But each victory came at a cost. Fatigue, injuries, and dwindling resources left them on the brink of collapse. 8. Their last hope lay in reaching an abandoned airstrip, rumored to have an old communications tower. If they could power it, Lara could transmit her evidence to international media. Through storms and nightfall, they pushed forward, narrowly avoiding capture. When they reached the airstrip, Mason rigged the generator while Lara prepared her broadcast. Just as the signal went live, teams surrounded them. 9. A brutal final fight erupted. Mason took on heavily armed soldiers with nothing but improvised gear and sheer determination. Lara continued transmitting despite bullets tearing through the tower's metal frame. At the last second, a rebel aircraft arrived, alerted by Lara's partial transmission, and unleashed a counter-assault, turning the tide. Mason and Lara were evacuated as the tower finally collapsed behind them. Days later, global news erupted with Lara's exposé. President Alvarado faced international condemnation, and Valdoria began steps toward democratic reform. Mason declined praise and recognition, returning quietly to his freelance life. But he was changed, no longer drifting, no longer numb. Lara visited him with a new proposal: investigate another corrupt regime together. Mason smirked, packing his gear. "Guess I'm still in the freelance business," he said, stepping into his next adventure.